I'm successful now. You can't tell me what to do now.
Ooh, I own you even though I don't need you, but
I'm a man.
ooh, I just
I'm a man.
gotta drive.
I bought a BMW. Executive car.
Though I don't need you, but ooh, I just gotta drive now.
2014 BMW 320i. The entry-level 3 Series car for the entry-level BMW guy. You look at it, and you're almost anticipating the driver to give you a hard time because you're getting too close to his baby. You're breathing on it. Get your Rolling Rock scented breath off my bimmer. But that plays into the obnoxiously simplistic cliche that all BMW drivers are jerks. Picking on a 3 Series is sort of like a jock picking on the kid whose parents couldn't afford orthodontic work. And as a result, his teeth look like the rocks on bake oven knob. Oh great, another jackass complaining about BMW drivers. Which sort of makes me wonder, why exactly don't people like BMW drivers in the first place? A study by the Institute of Personality and Social Research at the University of California, Berkeley found that in a sample size of 500 motorists, BMW drivers are the worst when it comes to obeying traffic laws. That was in 2013. But just this year, a poll conducted in the United Kingdom in which 2,000 citizens were interviewed found that BMW M3 drivers were viewed as the most inconsiderate on the road, earning 53% of the overall vote. Search the internet and you'll find any number of threads complaining about BMW drivers. Here's an actual excerpt we found on Google. I drive 40,000 miles a year. Out of all the tossers I see out on the road that carve up other drivers and speed and tailgate, never say thank you, and are always on the mobile in their hand, it's the BMW 3 Series drivers. The author goes on to complain about how the defense that non-BMW owners are just jealous doesn't hold weight. And I agree. I don't think it has a lot to do with jealousy, but I don't agree with the idea that BMW drivers are somehow worse than other drivers. BMW is a brand that lives on the notion that these are drivers' cars for the open road. You get torque, you get zippy, enthusiastic engines, you get decent fuel economy, and a generous helping of horsepower, so that if you want to open the thing up, you can. But if you want to drive conservatively, you'll enjoy that too. And odds are you'll look like a baller while you do it, because BMW maintains a fairly consistent visual design. It's meant to look economically exclusionary, even when it isn't. But therein lies the problem, you see. BMW drivers aren't inherently worse than other drivers on the road. It's simply that when a BMW driver acts up on the road, we tend to notice him more. You're more likely to see someone in a used Camry or Challenger or Mustang, especially Mustang, acting foolish. You might get cut off by a pickup truck, but unless it's something the size of a Super Duty, it just happens and you just kind of move on with your life. But a BMW? Oh, it's almost like he's flaunting excess in your face in addition to cutting you off or turning without signals or doing 75 and a 45. It isn't just an asshole driver anymore. It's suddenly an asshole driver and he thinks he's better than you. And that sticks in the craw far more than getting cut off by some 20-year-old in a WRX. Because a 20-year-old in a WRX doesn't carry with it the same judgmental subtext as a rich kid or a wealthy old man in a BMW. This is a BMW F30, the cheapest batch of cars BMW sells in America, and the first 4-cylinder 3 Series sold in America since the E30s of the 80s and 1990. This F30 uses a turbocharged 4-pot N20 motor It makes enough horsepower! I'm a man now! Excuse me. I'm gonna order coffee while talking on the phone. Hey, it's me. I just gotta touch base with you! Ah! It's time to touch base! You and the rest of the team! We're getting on the same page! Oh, this is critical! Yeah, same page! And touching base! We gotta touch base! And look ahead! I just soiled myself! Is everyone on board? We're rounding the bend! The conference room is reserved! And my urethra is yawning! And we're all gonna gonna touch base! The N20 makes 181 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 199 pound-feet at 4,500 RPM. The transmission is an 8-speed automatic which you can control with a play school beepin' boopin' tuggy pushy pew pew joystick. But at the end of the day, the 3 Series is a car that's better than any of the stereotypes about its lead-foot drivers, especially when you consider that the engines on the 3 Series have been getting weaker with each incarnation. For instance, the 320i was switched from the naturally aspirated 3-liter 6-cylinder and replaced with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder. And at that time, it was a sensible choice. It made the car more brisk, nimble, and dynamic. But then the 320i decided to go even deeper underpowered with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that couldn't even get you above 200 horsepower because it's been detuned from 240 to 180. But this isn't the BMW you look into when you're looking for the full-fledged big dick bimmer experience. But the first time is always the best. This is a toe in the water, a first puff when the bowl gets passed around. This is the tip going in halfway. It's that first Pringles chip before the rest of the can vanishes. This F30 taught me the most about track driving because it is underpowered for its weight and rolling on OEM tires. And it's also correct wheel drive. Turbo? Yeah, but the turbo in this F30 is like a turbo in a stock Jetta or a Passat. It's tiny. It does something, but I can't tell when it's working. Good for learning. My throttle position was more scattered than birdshot, but I didn't get in any kind of trouble. Understeer transitioned to friendly rotation, and the F30 pushed and dug into turns at the same place on each lap. And that meant the car remained a fixed value, and my nervous ass was the variable. So we can balance this equation. The F30 is a teacher who assigns homework at the same time each period. Start on time, end on time, and you can learn. And as much as I've hated on BMWs, and I still could never see myself owning one, the stigma is just too drippy. This is a good track car. This is a good beginner sports sedan that does work on the track because I, as a novice, felt comfortable. And there was a progression in the absorption of knowledge. God damn, the 3 Series works. And you're gonna like the way you feel in this because it feels faster than it is and it looks more expensive than $32,000 new. And the features help make it an easy option for people looking to save money since the driving dynamics control system can help this thing reach in excess of 30 miles per gallon when on the Eco Pro setting. But at the end of the day, this is about the brand and what the brand carries with it.
From an identity standpoint. But like a famous dwarf once said, never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you.
I'll be the BMW, the one that makes you wanna tug. 320i is nice. Paid good money for this car outside the San Fernando Valley. 320i is nice.